Welcome back to the Morning Movement Show. I'm your host, Sarah Joy Gaines, and we are joined by Mr. Bret Raybould, New York City-based comedian and writer.
Consigliatore, I would have preferred.
Welcome to the show, Bret.
It's nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me on the Morning Movement Show.
On the morning?
This is the most physical activity I've done pre-noon in years.
Amazing.
Just even rolling my shoulders was like, oh, I'm feeling it. Yeah. This is fitness for me.
This is, right?
Yeah.
That's all it needs to be.
That's true.
Sometimes,
That's true.
It's a starting place.
My sister she has what she calls MYA workouts.
Okay.
Which
MYA.
The last word is a cuss word.
Okay.
The A word. Can I
Okay.
say it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Move your ass.
Okay.
Which is sometimes you don't have a lot of time, so just do something to move your ass for 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, what were we doing? 15 minutes? It's just about moving your body. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
I like that you're nicer than me and you say body. I'm gross. I'm like, move your rectum. Anyway.
Well, speaking of movement,
Yes.
not anything else, let's talk about what is your first memory of movement?
So you did ask that. Sarah's a wonderful pre-show interviewer, by the way. Everyone out there, she did an awesome job. My
you.
first memory of movement, and it's like in terms of a moment that gives me so much joy, and I think is such a expression of who I am, is I love the sport of soccer. That was what gave me identity growing up, and I still love it. My first moment of movement is I remember. Obviously, it's like a little later, like I was like 8, but this is the moment that came in my head, was in the last 1 minute of an indoor soccer game in a final for a club at the time, the Kansas City Legends, which we're all aware of. I like that I'm talking about my youth soccer career in front of a competitive skier. But I scored a game-winning goal in the last minute, and my favorite moment wasn't scoring the goal. Hold your applause.
Okay.
This is very, I think, me in terms of being a douche, is I ran up to the opposing team's coach, my parents tell me, and I started giving him the finger guns right to his face.
Pre-goal?
No, after I
this
scored.
was after this.
So
Okay,
just some 8-year-old runs up to youth coach Hugh Williams, and that is his name, and I just went, So that's my moment of movement that I thought of.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you still play soccer, from what I
All
know?
the time. I play 2 to 3 times a week, pickup, and I'm a pickup all-star.
Amazing.
Which is my favorite thing to do. That's my favorite thing to do because it's nice to have something that you're not. In New York, we're all pressured to like make stuff or do or achieve or be productive. It's really nice to have an outlet that goes, I'm going nowhere with this, and that's okay.
Totally.
I love this thing. It makes me feel like there's so much self-expression to the sport of soccer, which I think is why I love it. Other sports, run the play, do that. But soccer, you really can know someone by how they move and how they are on the field. You really can understand like a lot of their psychology and yeah.
In what way? My thing with soccer, I said this to somebody recently, is I showed up when I was 8 to like the first day of, not even tryouts, just like sign up, and then I left. So that's my soccer experience.
Yeah. You can understand it because like people have creativity. It's a sport that you don't have to be a great athlete to be a great player. I mean, it helps to be athletic, of course, but you can express yourself with the way you move. Do they play really with a lot of desire? Are they tenacious? Or they avoid contact but are really clever on the ball? Are they sly? Are they kind of cheap? Me, I'm kind of cheap and I'm competitive. But no one ever expects a very lanky guy to be good on the ball, which is kind of what gives me pride. And even though it's like I feel like a child. But yeah, I do feel like a boy when I play. Like I'm reminded of what it felt like to be 12 and in love with an activity when I play. And and it's
great.
like there's community to the game, and soccer is the only thing that's a universal language. Everyone ever understands it. And so I love that I can bond with anyone from anywhere. for heck, even your awesome production crew member Ronaldo, which by the way, that's the best crew member name to yell out. You're like, Ronaldo music, like that just sounds awesome.
Ronaldo runs the show.
You know,
Ronaldo's the best.
Yeah, it's so much better than like Craig Tunes. Ronaldo. Yeah,
We love Ronaldo.
we do love Ronaldo.
Well, I have a question. Do you think that you playing soccer now, which I also love that you said that like it brings you back to 12-year-old you. I think it's so important that as adults we like have those things. That's what dance is for me.
Yeah.
But do you think that soccer and having that outlet feeds what you do as a comedian and a performer and a writer?
That's a great question. Probably not.
Okay.
I think they're totally separate things. But I like they're just totally separate. But I will say it does affect my mood.
Right.
I don't know. Do you ever dance bad and you're like, what the hell, man? How
Well,
did I
my whole
dance
thing with
bad?
Joy Flow is like there's no dancing bad or good. It's just we're just moving. So I kind of get to slide under that.
Yeah,
by
because
just,
it does affect my mood. So it could affect my mood for
Oh,
the day
either
if I
way.
play poorly. No one cares. Even the fact that I'm talking about it right now is like, what's this guy doing? But yeah, I feel like they're totally separate, and that's what I love about them is like it's just nice because I can have a mentality. I think many of us can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to find some sort of success or productivity, and soccer is the opposite of that. It is just being and doing because that's what you like to do.
Right.
So it does. I don't think it feeds into it at all. Though I have written like stand-up bits about it.
Right.
Because it's a part of my life, and I'm going to talk about that because it's relevant to me.
Right.
Even though sometimes some audiences are like, I could care less about this.
Yeah,
but
but
that's
that's
what's
like
great
any
about stand-up.
stand-up, right?
Yeah, is you want to hear about a person's life and different point of view and or experiences.
Totally. Well,
Yeah.
so then let's talk about stand-up and let's
Let's get
talk
into
about
it.
comedy.
Let's get into it.
How? I mean, you've
Which
done
is great that, by the way, I like that you had everyone practice their fake laugh for me. I was like, good, let's keep that going. Keep those fake laughs good. There we go. Parker's got a good fake laugh.
No, it's all real.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know what? I was trying to remember because I remember you came to my studio that I used to have on 30th Street.
Yes.
But I couldn't remember if you came for yoga or Joy Flow.
I came to your studio for, I believe it was your thesis graduation ceremony.
You didn't come for an actual class too? I thought you did.
There was like a pre-class. There was
a Joy Flow.
There was
at
a
that.
Joy Flow. But no, I have been to one of your Joy Flows. There was a dance. I watched you do a dance with a class.
Right. That was performance. Okay,
Yeah.
but I thought you had come to an actual class beside like a separate class. All these to say is I was wondering if you had ever done the laughter bit that I had everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
had. Yeah, we did. I do
We did
remember
do it?
that.
Okay.
We did do that. How do you find your own flourishes for like leading a move? Do you call it a movement class?
I do call it a movement class.
Yeah.
Or a Joy Flow if I
You have
really
the
want to be
perfect
branded
name
about
for
it.
it. Joy is your real middle name?
It really is.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And then when I was deep in fitness, my last name is Gaines, and so people would love that my last name is Gaines. As an exercise physiology professor, I'm Professor Gaines, which is pretty
Do you
great.
ever think about changing the spelling?
No. But
Like,
I did.
make it a Z?
Wait, I've had somebody ask me, do you spell it with a Z? And I've had somebody ask if it's actually my name or my lifting name. And then I was like, no.
I like that we have lifting names.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Christian name, my lifting name.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, but you had done the laughter yoga before.
I had, yes.
Okay. What do you think of it? As somebody who makes people laugh for a living.
What's interesting is I think when you fake laugh enough, it becomes real.
Yeah.
It's because you all recognize, like, it's so stupid that we're, like, laughing like villains. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's kind of funny that we're all laughing
Right.
like villains or foolishly so.
Yeah. You can even do it by yourself, which, makes you really feel like I am okay. We're doing this, but then it feeds in. I have done it.
It's probably good to fake laugh on your own because I feel like when we watch a show on our own or something, you don't laugh big when you're watching a funny movie alone. Do you?
No.
Right, like even if I find it really funny, when you're alone watching something, you're like, you know what I mean?
There's some. I mean, I gotta say, there are some like Instagram reels of like I'm a big like funny animals. I love Parker knows. It's like all I send him. Yeah. And I'll be cracking up just but I think honestly, I really do think because I do so much laughter, just like standalone laughter and guiding people through laughter, that laughter comes easily to me now.
Yeah, well, I have two questions. One, what do you think the funniest animal is?
Ooh.
I have a thought, and there's an old argument between Richard Pryor and some other comedian, and they always argued what's funnier, a duck or a chicken. What is funnier, a duck or a chicken?
I've never heard
They're
them tell
both-
jokes.
But like, look at a duck. Picture a duck.
Okay.
Now picture a chicken. Which one just kind of seems funny? I have an
Duck.
answer for me. I think duck's the right answer.
Yeah.
Like
What do you guys think?
The waddling, the quacking. Chickens are too like paranoid.
Yeah, they're a
and
little. The
constantly
energy is a little too like erratic.
frenetic. But ducks, that's the funniest animal, I think. I think it is. Even though you probably get, is cat your go-to? Is it cat?
No.
That was me stereotyping. That
Yeah,
was,
no.
As you're a woman,
I
that was
was-
offensive. I'm sorry.
Maybe like some of their actions that they take, but no. I mean, I think every animal is funny in their own way. You know.
Come on. This is a place for universal joy. I'm putting animals down. I'm like,
I will
ox,
always
you're not
lift
funny.
animals up. No, I
Yeah.
love them all equally. Honestly, they're great.
You're,
I
come
don't know.
on.
Is there a running theme of animals I send you? Oh, we love squirrels. Yeah, Mr. Squirrel. But he's just more diplomatic than funny.
Mr.
Yeah.
Squirrel is an influencer?
Yeah, he lives in our backyard.
Oh, okay. Just taking videos of himself.
Okay, so let's circle back to you. You
Yes.
make people laugh for a living. How did this come to be? I mean, I know you've done this for a very long time in college,
Sure.
right? So, like, tell
Yeah.
us how this happened.
How
How did you become you?
Great question. I mean, I fell in love with comedy from an early age. The first funny person I loved was Chris Farley. I'd always do impressions of him to my family on long drives to Nebraska from Kansas. And anyway, I just fell in love with comedy at college. I was in a college comedy troupe. And then,
What was it called?
It was called the Lilting Banshees.
The what?
Lilting Banshees.
Okay.
Which is actually a good name for a troupe. So many comedy troupes, you hear the name and you're like, oh man, that's trying too hard. You know what I mean? Where like they try and do like a pun.
All the puns,
And
yeah.
it's like, honey, I shrunk the improvs or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? You're like, you're working too hard for that. But and I knew New York was the best place to try and get better at it and pursue it. So I moved to New York. And I did the age-old, uninteresting story of hitting the open mic scene that I'm sure, as any New Yorker, when someone hears someone's a comic in New York, you're like, yeah, that's like 1/8 of the population. So, and eventually was able to quit the full-time job I had, and me and my brother had a successful comedy touring business. And now I am able to scrape by doing a lot of one-nighters and writing stuff. And now I'm in Zine.
Now you're in Zine.
Now I'm Zine.
Here
yeah,
you are.
that's kind of the abstract. How was it as an abstract?
As an abstract, I could see it. It's great. It makes sense. I want to know more.
Cool.
You know, I'm curious. Obviously, like the jump from open mics to then having a successful comedy business. Like, could you talk a little bit more about what that was, how you got there?
Yeah, it was just a lot of calling venues saying, can we do a show there? Them saying, sure, then probably being difficult to work with, even though we're bringing business to their venue and independently selling tickets. It was because New York, the open mics is like brutal and miserable, and it's just other comics. So what our thought was like, we want to actually be, real comics, so let's get out of New York and bring comedy to people in towns where there's not as much entertainment, so they would take a chance on, no one knows who I am, And my friend Parker hardly knows who I am, and he's known me for like 10 years. No, but yeah, going places where people will. And I was doing like 30 to an hour, minute into an hour long sets.
Wow.
When I didn't even have 5 minutes. Like that's the thing, is you're booking yourself, and it's kind of the thing in New York where it's like no one's going to book you, so you have to find your own way and kind of book yourself. And so that was kind of what we were doing, and was able to make it work. And then the pandemic happened, and my brother retired from comedy unceremoniously, but it was the right decision for him. And yeah, now I'm just doing it on my own, finding random clubs who'll put me up, or independent comedy rooms.
Right. Well, we went to a table read
Yes.
of Christmas Carol 2.
Yes.
Which you wrote.
I did. I co-wrote that with my mom.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And starring Dean Edwards.
That's right.
And Dane Cook.
That's right. Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
Can you tell the story of how you got Dane?
It's very funny in that it's so, I just commented on one of his Instagram posts. I thought he was perfect for the part. My mom and I co-wrote this script. It's called A Christmas Carol 2, in which a big box retailer moves into town, forcing small business Scrooge to reconsider the charitable values he learned in A Christmas Carol 1. It's a very abbreviated title. And I pictured Dane as, honestly, like the villain, kind of this like megalomaniacal, rude businessman, and which Dane can pull off that as an acting part. Tremendously kind person. And I just commented on his Instagram. I noticed he ran it. So I just commented some version of, hey, Dane, longtime fan, fellow comic, wrote something with you in mind. I'd love to send you the first 25 pages. A few days later, he messaged me, sent me the email. I did, and then we exchanged numbers. And the very funny part, when he called me, you know how your iPhone autofills like who's calling sometimes?
Right.
I look at my phone and it said maybe, Dane Cook. and you get that and you're like, this friggin' better not be a telemarketer iPhone. If you're just telling me it's like a famous dude. And yeah, he was really cool because he came and did the table read. He flew himself in, put himself up. We did a rehearsal in his really nice hotel room, nicest hotel room I've ever been in. And he crushed it. And so we're working on bringing that back to a bigger stage for next year, 2026.
Amazing.
It's crazy how long projects take. You want them to be like instant. But it was really fun. What's really cool about working with someone who's had like a long career and an incredible career is when they read something, it's so noticeable that they're willing to impose themselves on material and on a room in the best way. Sometimes I find myself being worried about like being big, and it's cool to watch someone unabashed and very confident. And I try and channel versions of that with other things that I do. And that's the story of my work with Dane. And he was really nice and has helped me get up at comedy clubs in LA, and has since been like a very supportive kind of, I won't put this term on him, but mentor of sorts. I mean, he lives in LA, so
Right.
yeah.
That's
I just
amazing.
blabber. I'm sorry.
No.
Just throwing a lot of details.
No, I love it. I think that is so inspiring. I mean, with creating anything, and when, again, here in New York, I mean, there's so much possibility and opportunity, and no matter where you are, just in the world, but half of it is simply just asking or trying and being willing to get a no or failing.
Absolutely. And people want to be a part of like cool, good stuff.
Right.
And same reason I'm here.
Right.
You just
You
want
could have said
FOMO.
no.
Yeah, you get to FOMO. You're like, what? I gotta. But no, but it's true, and people want to be a part of good stuff. And if you're nice enough to think of someone for something, it means a lot to anyone, no matter what that is. And that's why I think that show and production, I was able to maybe swing above my weight class artistically, so to speak, is that like, oh, he wrote something and he connected with the material.
Right.
And, you know, he gets asked to be in a lot of things, and I think he connected with it. And so the answer's always no if you don't ask. So I've become
Totally.
pretty shameless on asking people to be a part of stuff.
Totally.
And I'm hopeful to have a couple other really cool asks in the pocket for later. Can I tell you about one?
Please tell us.
All right. And I'm so sorry to talk so much about myself.
This is the
Very
point.
nice.
You're our guest.
I know, but
Can we give it up for Bret one time?
No,
Remind him
no.
why he's here.
Stop it. But a really cool thing, and Zeem Nation, please follow my Instagram because we'll come out later this year. But,
What is your Instagram? Drop it for us
just
now.
my name, Bret Raybould.
Bret Raybould.
And me and a really good friend of mine, we co-wrote a script that's a sequel to Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
It's called Who Framed Roger Rabbit Again. And oddly enough, we were able to get it to the original Roger Rabbit, a legendary comedian named Charles Fleischer. And so it looks like we're doing a table read later this year with him involved. And I think that's going to be awesome because he has such a magic. Do you guys know that movie's the best movie in the world?
Yeah, it's a great
Rewatch it. But anyway, so follow along for that. I'm really excited. It'll probably be in the fall.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. He's good. That voice is really iconic. I know you haven't seen it in a minute.
Yep.
I've become like a cult leader for this movie. I shoehorn it in to every conversation. And I don't even do the plug after for my own little
Right.
BS. I just plug the original movie like it's something I'm promoting that's mine.
Could you do an impression of it,
Oh
would you
my
say?
God. Well, the thing he does, I couldn't, but I'll just do it for the sake of the joy flow exercise.
There you go.
He does this really cool thing that I love the observation that all animated characters, he said in an interview, have a speech impediment. Like good cartoons always have a speech impediment. Think about it, like Elmer Fudd or Bugs Bunny, and the flourish he added to Roger Rabbit, which I've never connected to an animated character more than Roger Rabbit, is he does this thing where he he billows his cheeks out for the P for P noises, and so the iconic thing is, please, Eddie, please. I love that, and so but watching him do it, it's almost like a jazz trumpeter. How
Right.
wide his cheeks can go,
I
and
bet
how
you
much
could
he can do it.
train that.
You probably can. Yeah,
Next
yeah.
week on the Morning Movement Show. Tune in.
You gotta start having people, do the arms and then go, all right, everyone say please and please.
We will do like a that's
Kinda-
a
it's in the
regular.
neighborhood.
Oh yeah, it's total in the neighborhood.
It's
They're
in the
neighbors.
neighborhood. Yeah. So that's my terrible Roger Rabbit impression.
Love that. Well, and you have a new special that are you about to start filming it, or you're going on tour with it? It's in libraries.
Yes, so I filmed a comedy special last year at a public library in New Jersey, the Bloomfield Public Library. The reason I'm so proud of this is it's not a taping. People just came to watch a random comedy show. And so a lot of stand-up tapings have a very, the audience knows they're part of a taping, so they almost bring a nice and pleasant, but ultimately a little fabricated veneer of extra enthusiasm for a comic.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, this was an awesome crowd, but they didn't give a damn about who I was. No one knows who I am. And but it was a great crowd and a really authentic performance, and I'm going to be touring public libraries. I have a small spring tour, building a larger fall tour, and I want each show to serve as a fundraiser for that branch, because libraries are getting their funding cut,
Right.
or flatlined, which is effectively getting cut because everything's getting more expensive. And so I'm touring public libraries, and my special's coming out in 3 weeks. It's called Live at the Library. I'm excited. I'm going to have a special release show at a comedy
amazing.
club in the Lower East Side called Sesh Comedy,
Great.
May 6th.
May 6th. Mark your
tickets.
calendars.
Yeah. No one does. When you say mark your calendar, no one's like, oh shit, I gotta. You might as well just say TiVo it.
Where can people watch the special?
It'll just be on my YouTube.
On YouTube,
the
great.
most universal platform.
Great.
And hopefully the algorithm gods like it.
Totally. We'll put in a good word.
And it does have a celebrity appearance that I gotta drop. I gotta drop the celebrity
Can we
appearance.
say who it is or
Of
no?
course.
Okay.
The GOAT of adult entertainment, Lisa Ann.
Okay.
You guys might not know who that is. Men do. Women don't always. She's a legendary adult entertainer. Beyond that, she's an awesome friend, an incredibly supportive person. And yes, she plays a sexy librarian in the opening sketch of the special. And she's been so nice to me to work with. I had a radio show with her, and I love Lisa.
Amazing.
She's the best.
Love that.
Yeah.
And so you said that's a sketch at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Is the rest, is it sketch? Is it stand-up?
So it's a 1 minute sketch and then just like a half hour of stand-up.
Okay.
And
Great.
that's the special.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yes.
May 6th.
May 6th.
We'll see you there.
Come on out if you're bored. Ronaldo's going to be there. Ronaldo on the God mic. You coming?
I'll be there.
Hey! Amazing. Well, in our last really couple minutes here, I just want to turn it over to our audience for a question from the crew here.
Yeah, it's been awesome hearing about your story. I always admire people in comedy because you have to live a lot of lives to stay in it. I'm
true.
curious, how do you define success right now in this chapter of your life? And what brings you joy? Like, we're talking about joy flow all the time.
These are great questions. I think defining success is making stuff with people you love. I'm quoting Conan here, but he said that's heaven on earth. And so when you get to make stuff with people you love, I think that's definition of success. I mean, you
Heaven
do
on
it
earth right here, right now.
right now, yeah. And so I would define that as success. And what gives me joy? I think people. I think that's why I love New York. And I know it's tacky, is everyone everywhere is represented in New York City. And you have so many little incredible interactions. Parker was nice. I had a great big show last week at City Winery, a really cool venue. And it's a really big comedy show. And I hung out with a friend after, and I'm coming home at 3 a.m. And I'm on the subway, and this what gives me joy, this random interaction. I befriend this 85-year-old man named Moses.
Yes.
Yeah. And we look to our left. There's a guy who has a wheelbarrow who has a giant box in it, and a normal woman cleaning her feet at 3 a.m. And then me and Moses are watching Manchester United highlights on my phone. And it was just awesome just yelling, my team scored, and I go, Moses! Moses! And the other 7 people on the train are like, what is that interaction? Why is that lanky white guy and that elderly black man watching a phone highlight? So I think people. Yeah. That's my answer. People.
And it all circles back to soccer.
It all circles back to soccer.
Amazing.
That's right. Yeah.
And folks can find you. You said it before.
We
Bret
all
Raybould.
Type it in. 1 T on Bret.
1 T on Bret.
RAYBOULD. Write it down.
May 6th. And Instagram. And YouTube. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Give it up for Bret Raybould once more.
She's good.
This
You're
is
good.
the Morning Movement Show. See you next week, y'all. Give it up. Thank you so much, Bret.